message to the people of Zambia. We will see a clear contrast between the opposition on one side and the Patriotic Front on the other side. And we will explain why His Excellency President Edgar Chagwa Lungu deserves another 5 years in government. At this time, allow me, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of us who are watching this thing live on radio, listening on TV, listening on radio, watching live on television, and also live on Facebook page, that we will stand up and give a welcome applause to our first guest, and this is no other than Honorable Dr. Anthony Mumba, Member of Parliament. That's Dr. Anthony Mumba. That is Kantanshi 1. Dr. Mumba was a Member of Parliament, an independent Member of Parliament for Kantanshi from 2016 to 2020. 2016 to 2020 now, 2021, and now he is contesting on the Patriotic Front ticket as a Member of Parliament for Patriotic Front ticket. Honorable Anthony Mumba, you're welcome. You remain upstanding. The next guest, ladies and gentlemen, is no other than our former chief spokesperson for the government of the Republic of Zambia. She served as Member of Parliament for Petauke Central. She's a seasoned diplomat, seasoned politician, seasoned business lady, and an example to our daughters that if you work hard, you can make it. Welcome, Honorable Dora Siria. Honorable Dora Siria is also a member of the Central Committee of the Patriotic Front, one of the senior leaders of the Patriotic Front, and she's just the immediate past chairperson of the PF subcommittee of the Central Committee on Information and Publicity. You are welcome, Honorable Silia. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me and join me in welcoming another very seasoned politician, businessman, in the name of Honorable Brian Munduvile. Honorable Munduvile is contesting as Member of Parliament for the Patriotic Front from Porokoso constituency. He is the immediate past Member of Parliament for Porokoso constituency on the Patriotic Front. He also served as the Chief Whip in the National Assembly and also served as the chairperson for the Legal Committee of the Patriotic Front Subcommittee of Central Committee, and is still currently the Member of Central Committee for the Patriotic Front. Last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcome one again seasoned politician in the name of Stephen Kapolio Kampiongo, Member of the Central Committee. So Honorable Kampiongo has served as the chairperson for the youths in the Patriotic Front. He served as the chairperson for security in the Patriotic Front. He's a member of the Central Committee. He's the immediate past Member of Parliament for Shiwangandu constituency. When he's dealing with issues of security, we call him as Jet Li or Tiger. Without further ado, we will remain upstanding as we go straight into the national anthem. Muntandize kwa national anthem ya mchizungu uvuta kwa kalingalinga kulia chizungu. National anthem. And free, land of wealth and joy in unity, victors in the struggle for their rights. We've won freedom's fight, all one, strong and free. Africa is our own motherland, fashioned with and blessed by God's good hand. Let us all her people join as one, brothers under the sun, all one Thank you so much. We will remain upstanding as we hear a word of prayer. Amai
Totela Jehova kalenga wa mulu nechando. Tatela mwatimisho kwa na munchendesha sana kuisa kumbika na nshitaifa lino nshita Jehova. Jehova. Tatena vula wa edika chagwalungu kuwabika maboko yenu. Tatena mwawarenda monse wikeni poku wako kwenu kwa mushilo. Takwawa wapula palimo mwe Jehova. Poso kwa wanyanta Jehova. Twabika pwesengeli yenu lubuto lwenu. Tatatuwa wanela tuwakumala palino nchende Jehova. Twabula fyamakaya kwa satana tuwakana mwishinalia kwa Yesu. Twabika pa lubuto lwenu Jehova. Na uno mwaka wa 2021 Jehova pa 12 August Jehova. Twabika bachagwa lungu maboko yenu. Tuama election yakabe peaceful Jehova. Ukwabula imwe mwele sate titukwanishe. Lelo twabula fe imwe mweka Jehova kubana ifwe. Na bakateka babikenu mapindo yenu. Lakini bateke obutungulushi bwabo kufuma kulilesa. Tuwakana makaya kwa devo Jehova. Tata twaizeshina lyenu n'obukulu bwenu mwelesa palino shita. Beni na bena munchende monsomo balenda Jehova. Lakini balange obukulu bwenu mwe Jehova. Chikukwe chabakwatalesa pabana babo. Lakini chipitilisha na 5 years ilesa komwelesa. Twabika fe mwishina lyenu kupitila mwana Yesu Kristo mfumu Yesu. Amen.
Amen. Tingangaleko pansi. One Zambia. One Zambia. Akawawawa. Ziko mwambiri. Without wasting much of the time, ladies and gentlemen, join us as we welcome on the stage Chiti, Mimi Crazy, and Chiko Chali. DJ.
Amina. Etika Chagwalungu Mawato Isala Simba
round of applause for Chiko Chali. Chiti, Mimi Crazy, lomba kuno naona msowera lini. Intercity, Commander Francis Muchemwe, mkasowera. Azimaya Choir, Mighty Make na group yanu, please. Can you prepare as we go straight into your next performance? Mumvishishe ngako mau ya kuimba Azimaya muri inyimbo. Inyimbo ina sautu, inyimbo ina meaning. And especially by UPND mumvishishe ngako mau haya, so that msatai time muyambo shita kampeni, kukampenera pazuva, kuononga nthawi, kumanishima election maruzakale. Mumvishishe ngako nyimbo. Mighty Make na Azimaya. Ziko. Manjas mai, wapase koni manjas mai. Thank you so very much, PF Choir. I hope that those who are listening to this song have heard the message in the song. It's very clear. Kalusa kampase tumavoti tutonto tochitotapa kumanja. Lomba lungu ni masaka hopo mavoti. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to have the honor and privilege at this time to start the ball rolling by welcoming to the stage the former Chief Whip of Government, the member of Central Committee for the Patriotic Front and the immediate past chairperson for the Legal Committee of the Subcommittee of the Patriotic Front, Honorable Brian Munduvile. A big round of applause for Honorable Munduvile.
One Zambia! Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. I wish to acknowledge the presence of my fellow speakers, who at the same time are members of Central Committee, Honorable Stephen Kampiongo, Honorable Dora Silia, and Honorable Anthony Mumba. Kuli mwewo nsendeti mwapolimpo mkwae. Mwewe na Zambia na leto mchinshi okufuma kube na mporokoso. Awe na Chishamwamba, awe na Mutitima, na awe na Mkanga ba miposha. Baleti mutwalileko mutende kulusaka. Kashi mkwae na miposha. Countrymen and women, this afternoon, I want to tell you why President Edgar Chagwa Lungu should be voted back into power on 12th August 2021. I will also tell you why he is the best presidential candidate in this race. Countrymen and women, President Edgar Chagwa Lungu is at the helm of our party. Our party is a pro-poor party. Party ya Balanda, party ya Nchushi, party ya Isamu kufumia bantu mu Bulanda. That is the party that I belong to, the Patriotic Front Party. And that is the party that President Edgar Chagwa Lungu presides over. When President Edgar Chagwa Lungu took over as president, he first of all began to understand the challenges of the poor people. Our constituency as Patriotic Front Party is the poor people. Therefore, it was instructive upon President Lungu to try and understand, how am I going to save these poor people? How am I going to deal with the issue of poverty? Immediately, he began to tackle the difficult questions. Ladies and gentlemen, previously, most politicians ducked this particular assignment that President Lungu took upon himself. President Lungu wanted to understand, can we find sustainable solutions to the problems of these poverty-stricken people that we are in charge of? President Lungu realized that to be able to tackle poverty, research showed that we needed to create sustainable employment. Creating sustainable employment meant that we needed to industrialize, come up with industries countrywide. And to be able to industrialize, we needed to attract investment. When President Lungu looked at that, he realized we had a very, very big task ahead of us. Because to attract investments, investors had their own demands. Valeti ushe mulefu atuke sevika ama famu kukalungwishi. Nge misebo shirikwi, nga matawa yalikwi, nga malaiti yalikwi. Balungu abati, pakupisho wafyobu, katwasu kefe wa investor walefuaya. Aba investor tulela ndapo, teba sungu beka yo, na ba investor besu locally. Pantu walungu ocho walefuwa chakuti, tuwalalwa shani ubuchishowe na Zambia. Echintu echo aventu avengi, kunu moku waletina, bu politician wali wabu afya. Tulafo kuchitefintu ya kusekisha abantu, apa benefit. Vanono abakwata courage ya kuchitefintu ifikeza sekisha abantu kuntanji. That is the candidate that we have in President Lungu, because he took on this very difficult task. We have a very courageous candidate in President Lungu. He took it upon himself. He began to build roads. He began to invest in the energy sector. He began to invest in water infrastructure. He put towers all over the country. And today, I am proud to mention to you, Nalipo Minister of Maina Batata, Nali Minister of Northern Province, Ifindela and Fishinka, Finte Futwale Bombelapo. I'm now proud to mention to you that through President Lungu and the Patriotic Front Party, we have now created a backbone. We have created a backbone upon which investment can thrive. And because of that backbone, in the near future, we will see a lot of investment in most of these areas. I want to tell you that Zambia has a lot of tourism assets, for instance. We are second to none in this region. But where is the investment that Kasaba Bay going to come from without roads, without towers, and without power? But President Lungu has sorted out all that. Go to Kalambo Falls, you're going to find a road there now. Go to Kasesha border. So now we are ready as a country to take off. President Lungu has created a backbone upon which this country is going to thrive, upon which development is going to come. That is the reason why Zambians must give it back to him to finish the plan that he started. Today, go to Kaputa, you will find the people there dancing because President Lungu has taken power there. He has taken water there. Come to Nsama, brand new district. Come to Mporokoso, things that we never saw. We are able to drive the same day and get into Mporokoso. An investor can come to Lumangwe and invest in tourism. An investor today can come and put a power plant at Lumangwe because President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the Patriotic Front Party have set a backbone upon which investment can thrive. Subamana batata. Epe tulele nabu ya kuti. Ipate Yesu, ipate ya balanda, pate ya konko kusumbula abantu kwa kumbulanda. Elo balungu balebo mbafyonse, fibali shiwe kuti kwena. Kulina vambi abantu wabale chula. There are people who will still continue to live in abject poverty. Because historically we know the people in Northern Province, the people in Wapula and Muchinga, some of them were miners on the copper belt. They were miners on the copper belt. And due to that bad project called privatization, they lost their jobs. They began to suffer. Their children are also suffering today. President Edgar Chagwa Lungu said, Nshatile pantumu nandi, uyumulumendo tule chifi anyanankwe, ewaisa ona ulefia makampani na privatization, abantu na lawasula kofi. President Lungu wachikukwa tile, nalambo kubatanga tana bene bantu, nalamu nefu nalafuisa na bene bantu, pante yesu yo Patriotic Front Party, ni pate yesu ungabalanda. Edgar Chagwa Lungu waleta ko social cash transfer. Muku pususha abantu, awa ale chula, pamulandua panensu bamo. Munyine fuomo tule chimfe nyana nkwelelo, uwa pangile ambafyayo. Wamana batata. Mwahumfuwa mwale tola ukata ufix it. We muntu wapanga mafia, nokuti ufix it. Yeo fine, chilingo mwana aya rufia nyefindo kutumana la lungisha. Musha kutumamu mfwa, we muntu wakanda wa nyefindu, waona ule fintu lelwatyo, au kama nfix it, kutumamu mfwa. Finsu wa fiona wirile, nisto wa file kelefi. Wingabula kufiona ula bantu nga tabale chula. Imise pila shile chula lelo, vana nawe shikulu, balushile nchito, ide wale unalefe privatization. Waisa abepeke chala. We muntu abepeke chala tinevo expert. Ninevo expert muli corporate recovery. Mkwaenga mampele nchito na lalungisha economy. Au fix the economy. Pakupele nchito. Kanshi we muntu, echo wa ishiba sana kustishe fintu. Tawae vele chalo kuti inefuna ishiba sana ni sales and marketing. Akali konseko mampela kustisha. Watile no, I'm very good, I'm an economist, I'm good at corporate recovery. Kanshi we muntu ishile kustishe fintu. We muntu mawine because of you. The result of that, we are victims from the privatization process. Our parents, our grandchildren today have no jobs because of that bad project called privatization. The same gentlemen who are at the helm of this project are today coming to remind the same youths that you have no jobs. What a shame. What a shame. Bane insoni ebuntu. What a shame. You can't create a problem. First of all, if that gentleman really wants to come and rule this country, Banensoni Ubuntu. The first thing he must do is to apologize. He must be able to come open. He must be able to come open to the Zambian people. Tumwaiche na linsila ishibe fintu. Lidaba mpele okuti bomba kwapa na mwene kwati kuti na bomba lelo nshaya na linsila ishibe nchito yo. Limbino nshitanga mwa mpele chance kuti na mwene fo ninga sengurila. But you just can't forget about what you did. Don't think Zambians who live today, including myself, have forgotten what you did. So what we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, because he cares for Zambia, he has gone ahead to put people on social cash transfer. Most of these are victims of that bad project called privatization. He is also looking at the youth empowerment. He realized that as he sets the backbone for investment and the growth of this economy, people will still need to survive. He has created some intermediate measures to ensure that we have youth empowerment, to ensure that our youths who are not in formal employment can have something to do. The old people who, as I said, were victims of that privatization process can also continue to look after their children. That is the president that we are putting in place. A president, first of all, who has a vision for the future, who has created a backbone for this country, and at the same time does not leave anyone behind. He makes every Zambian count. That is why today when you go to Chiluvi, the people of Chiluvi are dancing. And they've sent a message through me to say, go and tell the people in Lusaka that in Chiluvi, we will vote for President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. The people of Lukasha sent a similar message. They have said the development that we have seen is unprecedented. Ladies and gentlemen, for most of you that may not know, the entire province, northern province, is a construction site. Go to Chiluvi, go to Luwingu, go to Lupotoshi, go to Kaputa, go to Mporokoso, go to Mbala, Pulungu and Senga. You will find feeder roads being worked on, secondary schools, water infrastructure, communication towers. Today my grandmother does not need to panic. Because of the communication towers, I'll go to mobile money and send her money. This is because of the good policies of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. So I'm here to present a candidate that cares for the Zambian people. We've had a lot of challenges. This is a candidate that has really tried. Today, we are struggling with the sizes of certain constituencies. Take Mungwi, Malole for instance. Malole, you drive 300 kilometers across a constituency. When is that MP going to manage to deliver meaningful development in that particular area? President Lungu said, go to the people and consult. We went and consulted. The people of Malole, the people of Chiluvi, the people of Kasempa, the people of Mwinyilunga said, we have got to do delimitation. Let's amend the constitution to do the delimitation so that these constituencies can reduce in size for there to be meaningful development. What did our friends do? Our friends objected to that constitution amendment process. The UPND objected to the constitution amendment process. And because of them, today, Chiluvi remains the way it is. Because of them, today, Mungwi remains like that. Kasempa remains like that. I want to see, I want to hear what message the UPND will take to Mungwi. Because the people of Mungwi will continue to suffer because of the UPND. Had the UPND come forth and allowed the constitution amendment process, today Mungwi would have 3 constituencies. Chiluvi would have 3 constituencies and 3 MPs. And there was going to be accelerated development in those areas. So because of the same people, the women here, our women sent us through President Lungu to say we only have 17% representation in parliament. Can we have a system that favors women? Banono washitata abengaleka umkashwa kwala kumkampeni. Mwalisha washitata tuwali yake kutafile mkwai. Insanje nipa mushiteko file mkwai. So kanshi ilingi mwanyine fwe. Mwa politics mlesangwa tamuleba full time yo. Mwatile sangeni nshira imbinga tuafwa. Balungu abati kepisheni abantu. Twaipisha kona kumbi abati okwali benshira imbi. Ngeke abani nswachita ku Uganda no mwashala. There is a system. There is a system where you have safe seats, where you create an environment for women, youths and the disabled. And we propose that there must be a system that is not so rigorous and competitive for the women. The UPND vehemently objected that constitution amendment to Article 47, where we were proposing a mixed member proportional representation. But in a fuelelo, you would have had marketeers, a marketeer nominated by other marketeers representing them in parliament. That's what we wanted. We would have had people trading on, at the roadside being represented in parliament. The UPND objected to that. I want to see what message the UPND is going to have to bring to the women today. I want to hear Banamayo countrywide. Wait for them, ask them, Ukuti, what message do you have for us today when you've made sure that our representation in parliament still remains low? People living with disabilities, the population of people living with disabilities is 1.7 million in this country. 10% of our population. We said, look, there is no representation in parliament. Why can't we create safe seats for them so that they can have representation in parliament? And our brothers and sisters objected, vehemently fought this constitutional amendment. I want to hear what message they have for those marginalized people. I want to hear what the UPND are going to tell the disabled in society. What message are they going to have for them? And what message are they going to have for the youths? Because there is no representation of youths in parliament. The many challenges the youths are facing today would have been resolved by amending the constitution. They went on radio, they went on TV to say butane is evil because they thought by not passing butane, President Lungu will not be a candidate. Today, President Lungu is our candidate. With or without butane, President Lungu is our candidate. Other further attempts, futile attempts, eligibility, this, that, President Lungu is still there. But I'm not surprised. This party is dead scared of President Lungu. They've actually conceded defeat. Kale Valusa, they will try by all means. They're trying to build a case today. The UPND are trying to build a case today. They are causing violence. There are accusations on the judiciary, accusations on the legislature. Everybody is insulted every day. Accusations on the executive. If for sure they thought they were ready to rule, their conduct would have reflected somewhere. They would have shown that they respect institutions of governance. But they are fighting each and every institution, each and every day. But we know what their plan is. Their plan is to try and cause chaos now. Try to prepare. They're talking about voter registration. When in Parliament, Honorable Kampiongo, he was on the floor every time encouraging us to go to the constituencies and help in the voter registration exercise. I went and camped in Mporokoso. I was camped there. That's how we got those numbers. Many other MPs were camped in their constituencies, in our strongholds. And we've got the numbers now. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the numbers now. Numbers do not lie. We have the numbers now. Not only do we have the numbers in our stronghold, we also have penetrated their strongholds. There is no magic in this election. There is no magic. For all those doubting Thomases, be told now, don't be cheated. Do not be cheated. We've got our numbers now. And do you know what? Do you know what? Kaluta Puskemi Piashivili. This time we are clever. We will ensure that our people stand up to go and vote on the 12th of August. Because the roads in constituencies have been worked on. The transportation, people's movements up and down to go and vote will no longer be a challenge. I can guarantee your bottom dollar, the result is known. The UPND know very well also that they are losing this election. They are trying to create an environment. They are running back and forth to talk to foreign friends. Say this, say that, no, the electoral process, no, the register, that. They want to create a situation where when they lose, the government should be forced to go into government of national unity. The UPND, that will not happen. We're winning this election, we're winning it clean, without going into even the second round. You had your chance. You had your chance. You failed to bring the numbers on the voters' roll. You were busy dancing and drinking wine, opposing butane. You were supposed to have been in your constituencies, registering people. Busy dancing and fighting, saying, no, Article 52, if you amend Article 52, President Lungu will stand. If you don't amend it, he will not stand. Today, the most problematic article in our constitution is the same Article 52. We told them, because we're in government, we said, look, this is going to give us problems. What are we seeing now? Every other day, either a candidate resigns or somebody has died, we are going back for nomination. And we said it. We said this is going to create problems for us. We said this is going to create problems for us. And we thank God that we've been vindicated. We've been vindicated. So, the message that I have for the UPND is that you are standing against a very strong candidate in the name of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. A president with a proven record. A president with courage. A president who cares for the Zambian people. A president who has demonstrated that he can make very difficult decisions with a straight face. A president who has navigated this country through a very difficult time during this COVID-19 period. A president who has saved many Zambian lives as it is today. We therefore wish to announce to the Zambian people that you are safe in the hands of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. For those that were doubting, he has demonstrated clearly that he is a president that can deliver to the Zambian people. He has delivered development to the Zambian people. He has increased numbers in social protection. Look at how many people are accessing social cash transfer today. Many of us today, it's sendo wa mshako wa lungu. Tuwale tumendalama kuwa fiashi every month to look after the old people in those areas. Today they are looking after themselves because President Edgar Lungu has put social cash transfer there. How many farmers are accessing the farmer input support program? Because President Lungu said, as I'm building the economy, as we are creating this backbone for the economy, we need to ensure that we are food secure. And to be food secure, he made sure that over 1 million farmers are accessing farmer input support from the government. Ala twamulisa mfwe tatupwa kusala. If you are chitava lungu, if you are fulisha, you can't compress it in 1 day. I needed 2 days to explain what President Lungu has done. But for now, I'll give a chance to my colleagues to speak. Thank you very much.
Manja, 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 manja. Thank you so much, Honorable Brian Mundubire. Awe mwalabira. Enzena ma province yangati ya tatu. Southern, Western, Northwestern. Lomba ku Western province, techita ma by-election 25. 25 from 2016 to 2021. Ayo ma by-election yenze ma city yao yawo kansela yao ba United Party for National Bitterness. After kuchita ma by-election yali 25 tebanyankula 18 tabapoka ma city ku Western province kweka. Lomba alobere pani kuliye niye benzo labira Brian Mundubire. Seo tina Copper Belt, tina Lusaka, tina Northern, tina Luapula, tina Central, tina Muchinga, tikasasitikapo Eastern Province, my election 20 hours ni Shalungu Pampando. Manja, 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 azimai na zibambo. Wonsaba mulemo na vana bakwa lungu ye. Wonsaba mulemo na vana bakwa lungu ye. Vana bakwa lungu ye. Wonsaba mulemo na vana bakwa lungu ye. Zikomo, zikomo, zikomo. We have one bulldozer. Kantanshi 1. He was a member of parliament as an independent member of parliament 2016 to 2021. Wasebenza ona kuta ulusumpuko uyantanshi chitukuko chiri mulalungu wawera kuzoyimirira pa Patriotic Front. Honorable Anthony Mumba, incoming member of parliament for Kantanshi.
Alebuele la posori.
Hello, Isa Mukulande Chinka, therefore, and I know Posheko Vanandi Avanshenabo, Mukulanda Chalo Chesu, Mukulanda Navena Zambia, pali general election dire kwata kusherefe inshiku 22 so na leta na matokelo kufuma kantanshi mwaisa bonso. Thank you very much, organizing committee. Thank you very much to the campaign team, for His Excellency the President, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, as well as for the running mate, Professor Nkandluo. I think that it is very clear that the opposition has no message for the people of Zambia. Kutituamo na fie, moko vale tola ukanga kabamba, kutituamo na fie na message tabakwete. Mwewe na Zambia, ibusheni elo mwabikile po PF mu 2011. Mu 2011 chino chalo, wali ukuchita bosta tinchi fastest growing economy, 7% growth rate, but abantu tabakweta maskulu, abantu tabakweta ma hospitals, abantu balenda intanfu Itali no imisebo, abantu na feeder road tabayi shive, echalele ngano kutrati maruro constituencies, ngefine na kwata maruro wards yatatu, abantu pakutubende fye, kuisa fkana mpa polling center, na ngubende fye ukia kuchipatala, chale becha fyanga nshi. Ubu teko bwenu wa PF, wae lokwe bati 7% growth, tufuiro. Bantu abantu, ngatababe, abakwato bumi usuma, ngatababe, abasambilila, nishichino chalo tapaloko tulea. So number one, PF said, let us take this 7% into people, especially those in the rural areas. Epo tuambilo kumona, bamba rombo kula, amaskulu, bambo kula, nefpatala. Ngana abula in a constituency andika antanshi, under the 650 health posts. Badu itupuirikishano mbali ni hapa, aba nesu kuliabale ya mkongo, umwa wenkondo, pakutuka kwate for health service. Nomba muli 10 years ya PF, na abeshwa na kuishwa na kantanshi, ukweba ati PF ya tuletera ififini tumupepe. Ama school fees, mwebantu bakwalesi. Na mulabata ama school fees ya lundwe chine. Bakateka weswaidi galungu bebele, no. Tefya chifuiro kuba. Lelo secondary school ni 200 kwacha. Ku primary school ni 0. Ushakwana kechi mwebati bobu teko vula msakameni. Aba nesu mu opposition na tumona. Tapali yefu bakwete okulanda po yo. Balela ndati bakesa ingisha abantu buticha. Ngabakesa ingisha abantu buticha. Maskulu nshibakula omo baticha baka mkubomu. Bakesa ingisha abantu bunasi. Ma hospitals nshibakula emo baka bita abantu. Na beshiba mwebela Zambia okutirati PF na itupekanisha fiance. Ifu wetu kesa fye mkusalula. Nombala ifu na tuima password kati kabya chitike. Anti utupuirikishe onso mulimo. Tulefwa nombo kuikata kuli economy. Mwebantu bakwalesa. Tumoneni oko tulefu mwoko. Elo PF yaishile kwata a very very sad event basata watusha. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Mu PF tabali abantu abale umfuika nokulanda sana iyo. Bali fe bama actions. Ba taking over chino chalo. Kwali kutalalika abantu abatemene basate chine. Kwali kutalalika echipani. Mwali utufi nkolonkolyo. 3 months later, Baba President. Icha number 1 icha shechtik. Imitengo shakopa shapona. Mu 2015. Vai mokia kopa beuti kulia. Constituency yandi kulia. Vaya na abasungu babe batiyo tapali uwalalu sa pwenchito. Balefika kuno kulusaka bashimaini nchito yapo. Ba President wabwerera mu pa drawing board. Chino chalo chifure chakwate migodi shachiko. Bakutila atinga kupona na abantu. Note awa muisana abekala mu boardroom kuma UK kuma Glencoe kuma South Africa balesa lepo chifiro kuikala nafe abagomfa firo kufola. Fionse fe ba President basungira. Tapapitira akashita twakwata fuel shortage. Abe nabachita produce fuel. Bamu nokutala tumutengo wapona pa market. Mutengo nga wapona demand ilife chimochine ninshi pala ba problem. so bachita reduce supply bakutira omutengo nine kupamuntu twakwata ma fuel shortage babombera po ba PF bitanga president Edgar Lungu okufumapo twasakwata nomba load shedding 12 hours bamiramula bokwikala kusuma kula kola bamiramula ukwikala kusuma kula jani kula kola twali kwete insta muno muchalo olo abantu abafiro kubomba mu bakery mu saloon mu barber shop n'abana bakuma skulu barefiro kulalemba ma homework yabo panstay lingile pantu takuli amalaiti icho nacho ba Edgar Lungu batashani babika pa drawing board lelo twakwata load shedding as low as 3%. But in Mwalola Shamu 2016, twaleposa $40 million pamweshi. Abali ba energy minister ni abali apa dollars liya. Kuti basala ndapona. Twafumapo twasa ingila muli drought na floods. Again, if you feeling okutilati imitengo ya bunga, mitengo ya fintu, yambo kubeya ile selenkana. Our president said, no, we have to invest in drought-resistant seed. Lelo, munomu region, 44 variety seeds to export from zero to a lifetime import kale. This is under the leadership of President Edgar Lungu. Tumwaba totela komkwai. Twafumapo, nala spawila. Twasa kwata COVID. Yo COVID nayo, wabati imigodi bala isalati care and maintenance pantu bulwele na bushu waba futi ati yo abantu tabafire kula nomba kumachito ufire kula bombera kumayanda ero finabe ngifie kwatemu ikwa wesu abatushire ubu bulwele bwasaya globally bonse takwaba nangu mwakwata health system ya makashani nangu mwobu wa America mweba aba number 1 superpower konse kwaba affected abantu amachito yapwa mwalimu na ululu wakana vika bwino efintu ulaku America na president alu sapamulandua COVID pantu alekana elo bale mweba chimone wa opposition lero yonse kulira yota kwa ama election bale bepesha COVID abantu balekusha government yaba Edgar Lungu yaikala futi ifikala chimbu tefikala inama ikata nga twakonkeresha aba twalaipa yabantu lero nangu tukwate info lekana shiriko shinonshipo na tumuno kweba ati nifuwe nenga tatupose kwa mama ukuyichingilira ukulachita mask ukulachita defi batila kitapa ba Antonio Mwanza ukweba ati banchite sanitize na social distancing nokukano kwenda when it's not necessary. It became apparent that really as a government there was need for measures to be taken. So I think that when you look at even now the entire world economy, you agree with me that Zambia in a recession at negative 4.2%, amachito kwena tetu kwanisha. Bakateka tabai kerefu, baiba tuchite economic recovery plan. Tuwebe naba neso ma donors wese, bai kere bonse muno muine. Kweba tino as PF, tuwalachi te fine. Tuwalachi ta dismart wama debts, tuwalachi njama taxes, tuwalachi kata hapa pusana paputila tichino chalo, chambio kwenda, abantu bambio kwata machito. This economic recovery plan, the idea is that by next year, we should grow by 3.2%. Yes, that might not be good enough, but it is better than being in negative 4.2%. All these are initiatives that you cannot get from the opposition because the opposition knows ati abatu wala pampula fie ifi ashara tukesa tola nomba ngemwalisha watu mwalibomba tumwaleka shani ba opposition bamibepe nobufunfu ntungu tabakwete ponero chimwe cha kusonto cho bachita nishi mwingachitirefe echo twimina paswe kokwebati we will tell the people the truth and nothing else but the truth.
Masosa sana.
So, na mwisho ngole simika itishinga ne instailenda na makaka ili kubikamo bantu itishinga takwabo kutilati wala afisa mwechili chonse. So if we MPF after realizing kwa taba nesu festival etwe batiyo inkongole na abafisha ba PF nangu bakulire emisebo nangu bakulire amasukulu nangu balele ngange efire elo tuletamba pa chitunji pali investment babika muri ICT lelo nendala makutu watuma pa mobile phone ayonse ma achievements ya PF ya opposition hiyo. So bafuma kunkongole besile nomba kumutengo wefu yakulya bakateka wesu again made it very clear we cannot have food prices going on like this. That's why the FISIP program has been able to at least address the cost of milling. But even in all these investments that we are making, today one of the sectors that is competing consumption of white maize, which never has ever happened in this country, is the livestock sector. Today we have seen huge investments, both private and from government, in the livestock sector. You will find that today the PF government, through the leadership of Edgar Lungu, they decided to say we need to deal with the issue of the fish deficit. Today we have seen huge investments in that area. We signed agreements, for example, with Saudi Arabia to start exporting goats. We signed agreements within the private sector to try and ensure that, livestock products are the ones from Zambians that go into our shelves. Yes, there are certain agreements that we made because we have been too ambitious, and that caused the supply to be outstripped by demand, and therefore that pushed the prices up. But that is how we are supposed to live. We must depend on our own products. And that's what COVID has taught every country around the world. Mufwilo kuleta produce enough to feed yourselves and export. Now as you produce enough, the price starts to come down. If we can touch ngatuamona FISIP program yesu, ngefindela ndana imwe nama farming inputs na Africa kali. Abantu olobale sombula amasaka 200 300 kairinda bafu wako nokusenda na alibeba natibane kwa linsoketa kwafuile muntu ayama taba mukwete tamufuile mwashitisha fiance yo mufuile mwashapo enough for the next farming season nga mwachitefyo tamwakalea mu Shoprite tamwakalea mu Choppies mkufuayo ubunga aya emano ya buteko ubu musakama. This is the sort of response a government that cares about its people can only solve your problems. And one of the major problems that we have is our huge consumption of maize. That's why mwamwene wasawana masola milling plant yalabaye velati nanguwatu wale saka liya mataba tabafuile no kuchaja iyo kairi fili fuma kwa figaga fili efira mwona balashitisha nomba yala makampani akulu na mafama zera kalamba ayakwata ifinatira ndako fya livestock. So mwamuna ubuteko kwa bati wali ba methodical mukutontonkanya na mukutitefintu. This is why for us in PF we have said we do not believe in fixing anything. We actually believe in building. We have built a strong foundation and we will continue building on this foundation. We are proud that today people can have clean water. We are proud that today we can have dams that have made it possible for water and sanitation to improve. If we could have mufurira kuletu walikuwa takuda kuma ineria ame insha kwa na bin state ipi ukupitira muri ba Edgar Lungu uyu mulungu uleisa ni ishbasa ina ama contract abakalati ta supply ama works aya kuchita improve amenshi kumulonga water fwe bantu batwala kwata in the next 24 months amenshi ayengi mumushi echo nafu kamine na kuli ba president nafuka na kuli ba running mate kwewa nama bills ya abantu ili investment mwala leta close to $100 million yalama bill aya menshi but mwela walefuma mwala ya council bebela titwala tontonkanya nishitumwa kani kwenda tuyo kuteko tabumtontonkani tabumusakamana efyo tulela ndapo nga muamona list yaba opposition na nomba. There is nothing about improving infrastructure that because infrastructure bali bombera bukali ba PF bali mibe party infrastructure misebo mumyoto kangana wikala ila yonse tefiwe ale bomba nomba PF ngayamye bati mo mana in your pocket ushengo wale bomba fiwe ya 20 kwacha ukufuma ku Cheston kufika pano ino instafiwe wale bomba ya 10 kwacha te kweba tinindi swati kuliba mwa bufumfuntu ngubalala ndathatira ndatifiwe ya 20 kwacha ni example nindi chipamata muishibe ba opposition ni example ndemi pela ukweba telo twale ko sen state alipa musebo na fio twale bomfe yale fula no mbeli tulepo senstei no kwa msemo na fio hii no tule bomfe if tule but isn't that more money in your pocket? I talked about food prices everywhere in the world. Even the report that came out yesterday was talking about food prices rising by different percentages. What this means is that all countries now are going to take very little steps in allowing export of food until their food prices stabilize. If we depend upon South Africa, now meaning a matraki yaleyonse aleyisa kulumukulete fintu mashop yesu yala kokolo quiz if yala chitika nino mbali nefe mitengo shala nini utumwa yaba tineti galungu ewe bera tibambe okulwa abantu kuli. But because we are part of the global village, we are interdependent on one another. What we are doing in Zambia will certainly affect Congo. What Congo is doing will affect us. What is happening in Botswana? Interdependence that we have. Now, who take who inga tontonka nyabwino win with yo? Ningu for Bangolan that your exchange rate ikapona from 23 to 10 kwacha. Okay. Nga yapona. Nga abakaluse mpia. Aba abike mpia $dollars. Abakaluse. Nga bena mule batontonka nyabu. Ifintu fyonse fifuire fya kwata intantiko. Echo MPF tukwatire for recovery plan. Na abasungu obo tubomba nabo mukyalo bali berenga tapa bapo wa isusha yo, because that plan is meant to help us get out of recession. Na chilanda pamigod. What has happened now is that we have acquired Mupane mine. We have acquired Mupane mine, and when we acquired it, vale seka ba opposition. Iyo tatuwa kwata capacity. Ni bana na wafiro kwata capacity. Abena mwisa ewa furo kwata capacity. Lelo Mupane ile bomba from April by Chira acquire barefo ile amuke and maintenance abena zambe njito shipwe. Iliba kateka bafumire ko ulabushiku bali shabapera na instruction yakwe bati tulefwa ya mubapere na terminal benefits yabo ilibala le kamuglenko barangira muzeti CMH ine inshilefwa ukutanga filia abanandi bali pa kwete yo opportunity yakule making sure that abantu bafola ati yo twale ni muma pension funds aba mu opposition nabalishi beli yashinisha fo kwalumbula mashina balishi babe no bachitekura mukozi kulwancha bakateka beberawe ifwe pantu PF turayi mono kutira mu future echipanichika bakwe chine etulefanga twaisa mumfurira nangu mukitwe baisa mukitwe bati ama benefits bapeni ifindela nda nabamba no kwikala tumwako kunya ko muntu le tondonga nyevi tete mufwaye yo efira mushwe mbaturanda tukapanya nayo wikete na muikata Edgar Lungu muikatileni mutungulileni let PF by 12th of August cross over so that we deal with the issue of the economy. We know what needs to be done. The opposition, what they have are stories and love letters and crying that the elections will be rigged. There will be no election to rig. We will win because the people of Zambia know that the PF has worked and we are running one of the most coordinated campaigns because we believe in the people of Zambia. I believe in the people of Zambia. The president has directed us. Mule pepa, mule imani na kwa bantu. Pantu chalo cha le sadi temuishi. Haba nesu mo opposition. Helo kwa iseba uta debate pama new ministries. Bakateka batu wa for religious affairs. Haba nesu mo opposition bakana at it's a waste of money. Kwa libo kupose MP ya kudilesha. Le lotu alikwata ila ministry because we believe in God and it will be God that this country will continue to save. I thank you and God bless you and come 12th of August, vote for Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Thank you.
Manja. Akawawawa. Awe Alavira. Thank you so much, Honorable Anthony Mumba, the incoming member of Kantanshi. Awe mwamine makambira sogoleri. You remember now ngati mwanga na opposition, you never hear them kukamba to vote for us, we will build schools, we will build hospitals, we will build roads. Because vonsevo ba PF wanachita bwanji panamanga. So banachinja na stance. Kunali no ni Moses wa Mzambia. Aona Sivi Sebenza achinja no Obama wa Mzambia. Aona Sivi Sebenza ankalayo bali at Snoop Dogg. K-Figo, Julio, Prince Love, D-Boy, DJ, Alewele Lapo, na Fishibikwa.
Ifintu bachita balungu nokumona natumona bota na puti awelelepo bota na kaidi awekerepo
Dilungu muwata tutale kuilungu waisipene nkumbu kateka musubo wa chikuku Dilungu muwata tutale kuilungu waisipene nkumbu kateka musubo wa chikuku Walilile kateka musuma tutungulule sonta pasele bagombele po ubuyantashe nabo bukonkanye po votele pamakaba kopala southern continental wakula choma na monze chiwe mpala kono tatu walo ko watula
hapa pena dilungu Lekenia wele matonga babemba badozi badenje bota na puti awelelepo
futi aleteka na kabiri na futi aleteka na kabiri na futi aleteka
Ababemba balozi balinje abachewa lubale kaunde Ababemba balozi balinje abachewa lubale kaunde
Nyumba ni mzimai. Nyumba ni mzimai. Paliye mzimai, paliye ng'anda ni zina tiala. The next speaker is an example to all of us. Some of us have got daughters. And she's an example that if you work hard, that if you don't listen to what people are saying, but you focus on what you know is right, you can achieve mountains. She's an example and an encouragement to all the young girls and the women out there. That kuseni ningauke nafaka ndalama na fyatila mbra za tomato yabana kung'anda kumasoti mazulo ningalute na yapabuko na yapunzila chizungu mveku mveku. Honorable Dora Siria.
Uyo alebwele la posori Uyo
nilesa wasalile sori
Antonio namletela ni moni wa mafuta kutoka Petauke. Na welalelo mao. Hai. Thank you. In the national anthem, we say, free men we stand under the flag of our land, Zambia. And I think sometimes when we are singing that part of the national anthem, we don't stop for a minute to think what it means. Because the role of the government is to provide this identity to us as a people. One Zambia, one nation. And at this time of elections, don't say tiriakali, as we say in Petauke, to see what promises various political parties are making. I've only come to talk about one party here, mine, the Mighty Patriotic Front, and its presidential candidate, President Edgar Lungu, the running mate, Professor Nkanduluo, all the members of parliament who are standing on the Patriotic Front, the whole Zambia, the mayors, the council chairmen, and indeed the councillors. I want to extend my greetings to all the people who've joined us today. In Southern Province, thank you for joining us, Mlikaboto. In Western Province, we are happy that you have joined us. Northwestern Province, Northern, Wapula, Muchinga, Copperbelt Province, Central Province, of course Eastern Province, and in particular Petauke. I know they are all very, very eager and indeed watching us today. In fact, this is another example, my colleagues, of the PF being ever ready. Because the reason we are having this virtual rally is because the PF was ever, ever ready. I think we must give ourselves a big applause and congratulate the Mighty Patriotic Front. I was asked to talk about the state of the economy, to talk about the cost of living, and to talk about the elephant in the room, jobs for young people. And I think my colleague Anthony Mumba gave a good synopsis of what has happened in this country in the last 10 years. I'm speaking to you in this room, but I'm also speaking to our audience, Zambia, that has joined us, and even beyond. What has happened in this country in the last 10 years? It is actually almost a miracle that we have continued to manage as a country and the economy has not collapsed. Because if you look at what happened in 2014, when the copper prices totally collapsed from over $10,000 to $2,000 to $1,000 a ton, the government lost a lot of revenue to provide services to the country. Soon after, when President Lungu became president in 2015, we had the energy crisis. I recall, as Anthony Mumba said, almost $40 million a month. We're importing energy in the country to keep us going. 2016, 2017, we had the agriculture crisis with the army worms. I was again the Minister of Agriculture. 2017, 2018, we had floods. We had another drought. I believe in numbers. Government was feeding almost 2.4 million people in 2019. And to manage to feed those people, the money was coming from somewhere. It's monga panganda. Kapena lero, mwenzi mweka tundalama, ati mkagulire mwana nsapato. Wachitika matenda, kakandalama, you say, please my son, my daughter, I can't you buy you the shoes now? Because you have to use that money for other things. If there is a death, you'll have to relook at your budget at home. And this is what was happening in this country. And of course, 2020, 2021, we've had the mighty one, the COVID. And I think that when the opposition have been talking about this government and saying we have not done anything, I think they need to take a moment to step back and look at the challenges this country has gone through the last 10 years. It has taken bold leadership to stay afloat. It has taken decisive leadership to say we are going to borrow because we cannot fold our hands when the copper prices collapsed. We have a country to build. And that's what we did in the last 10 years. The greatest challenge now, and we want to own this narrative as the PF, is the depreciation of the kwacha. Of course, we understand that this has been exacerbated by the pressure we have from paying the external debt. But the opposition has also played a very big role. On one side, they say they can fix it. In the night, they are busy calling international media and saying things are so bad in this country. The economies in the world run on confidence. And they are the same people who have tried everything possible to erode the confidence of this country so that offshore investors don't come to this country. The good news is that nobody has believed their tale, because we have seen that people are beginning to believe in Zambia again. Last year, the trade surplus was 12.2% of the GDP. They thought it was not possible, but it is possible indeed. We are a fuel importing country, and fuel prices are purely a function of the international oil prices and of course the dollar rate. And so when we have challenges in terms of kwacha depreciation, we expect that there will be an impact on food prices. There will be an impact on transport costs. But I think God loves this country. Azimai tupempela. Because for me, it has been extremely shocking that it's when the world is going through the worst crisis, especially because of the COVID, that we have seen copper prices begin to get back to the prices they were in 2014. It can only be because of God. And that's why His Excellency did not hesitate to declare the 18th of October a day of national prayer, so that we do not forget that sometimes it is the little miracles and the big miracles that are helping us to get through. COVID. The treatment for a patient of COVID in this country cost 120,000 kwacha. And I recall very well, I was one of the first people to have announced that I had COVID last year. And they laughed. And they laughed. But I am happy once again that my party, the Patriotic Front, ever ready, we have just imported in the country 4.4 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccines. Because we know that for these economic activities and social activities to continue, we need a healthy nation. And for COVID, it has affected all economies, as my colleagues have already alluded to. In the last 1 year, with the crisis that we've been experiencing, President Lungu showed such boldness. Right now, we are supporting over 632,000 households on cash transfer. Numbers don't lie. By the end of this year, we want to support over 994,000 households cash transfer. In Petauke, we call it Ndala Mazamwa Sauka. And I was being with the women the last 2 months. They have told me and convinced me that definitely They have no intention of voting for anybody else except the Patriotic Front and President Edgar Lungu, because a responsible government looks after those who are vulnerable in society, especially when things are tough. That's when you even lift their hand. In the last 1 year, the government has supported 1,500 aquaculture farmers with over 273 million kwacha. Figures don't lie. Figures don't lie. Us, we are not talking about fixing it, because we have already fixed it. In the livestock sector, we understand that in agriculture we have to diversify. We've been focused on FISIP, but again, this government, being bold, having bold leadership, we said we have to grow the livestock industry. With $12 million, we've supported over 28,000 households, with chickens, with cows, with pigs, with goats. And President Lungu did not segregate. He made sure that in Southern Province, in Western Province, in Northwestern Province, in Wapula, in Muchinga, in Northern, in Eastern, in Central, in Copperbelt, all those who were supposed to receive this support have received this support. The elephant in the room, and we are happy to talk about it ourselves as PF, it's jobs for our young people. One of the most important roles of government is to ensure that everybody at least gets the same chance. How they end is up to them, but we must all have the same chance. This is why the policy of this government is that there must be a school at least within 4-kilometer radius. There must be a clinic at least within 4-kilometer radius, so that our people can access these social services. We have invested in higher education. When we're taking universities to provinces, our friends said, look what they're doing, because they thought education should just be for the people of Lusaka and the Copperbelt. But again, bold leadership said we have to take higher education to rural areas so that families can afford tertiary education. Going forward, a good foundation has already been laid. It amazes me, my colleagues, when I keep hearing people saying, this infrastructure, are we going to eat roads? We are literally going to eat roads, because if we have to move from here to Eastern Province for any business activity, we are happy that the Great East Road was actually fixed, and now it is a highway that we can move so easily. We are literally going to eat roads because of that road. The triangle, in the growth triangle, Mozambique, Malawi, and Zambia has increased. 20 years ago, you'd not even see one truck on the road in Eastern Province. Now, it is actually a challenge to be driving on that road because of the trade that is going on in this growth triangle. Vantu vakupetauke, vantu vaku Eastern Province, akuti sensa lesidini, setu lima. But they are saying we want to continue with PF so that beyond the maize now, beyond the soya beans, beyond the sunflower, they want to see value addition and factories, because that is where the jobs for the young people are going to come from. We know there is phosphate in Nyimba. We are saying with PF we can trust, we can believe that there is going to be every effort made so that we have fertilizer produced in Eastern Province, so that Vantuvasu can continue to do what they do best, and that is agriculture. We also know that His Excellency President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, one of his biggest promises for the next 5 years, and he has already demonstrated his commitment to this, is prioritizing small businesses, medium businesses. And he has continued to call upon the banking sector in this country to take a chance on these small businesses, because that's where the jobs for Zambians are going to come from. Businesses such as clothes making, businesses such as food production, we know that is where the jobs for the Zambian young people are going to come from. So, colleagues, we have hope. We know that the worst is over. We know that the last 10 years have been the most difficult, but we know that together, going forward, especially in the next 5 years, we have a lot of hope because we have a plan. The plan is to increase agricultural production. The plan is to increase value addition. The plan is to make sure that we support our farmers. The plan is to make sure that we diversify. The plan is to make sure that we offer relief to civil servants. That's why we are all talking about the debt swap, because this is a caring government that understood that debt was strangling the budget of our civil servants, and we've been able to support them. So colleagues, I'm only here to present the PF. We believe that the others are just there, as we say mchinsenga, kuti yai, paulendo luonse pakuwa valoperekejai, those who escort you. So we know that we are on firm ground, we are on terra firma as PF, because we are dealing with the issues of the economy that are tough to deal with. And we are not shy to talk about them ourselves, because we know that the cost of living is high, and this is why the President is determined to make sure that as we go forward, we must provide hope to our people by increasing economic activity, especially in terms of luring investors to Zambia. Our message to our colleagues is that every time they take this effort to go and sing on the international platform about how bad Zambia is, they are hurting the people of Zambia. Because the people out there know that this is a country that is peaceful, this is a country ripe for investment, this is a country that has a critical mass of educated people. So it is beyond us that people who will be asking for votes from the Zambians are the same ones who want to hurt the Zambians by going internationally and always posting bad stories about our country. This is why I am convinced, as we say again, Antonio Kupetauke, kuti yai azimai olanga, azimai okaulisha. It is the women of Zambia that the opposition denied the chance to be part of leadership, especially at parliamentary level. It is us, the women of Zambia, that are ganging up together and saying, we know whom we can trust with our leadership, because he has demonstrated it already. His first vice president was a woman. He has now nominated another running mate, a female, in Professor Nkanduluo. That is leadership you can trust. That is leadership that leads by example. That is leadership that is saying, you, the women, are part and parcel of this journey. So let us work together. Besides, we are already in government. Bishoka wa mkati palanga kuchosemo. Mchinsenga tikuti mwina wa mwana kazinu ali mkati. Valali kulukolo ou vatiala opanga chongo. Thank you very much.
Akawawawa. Mwine wa mwana kazini ulali mkati. Ai. Ni chinsenga hicho. Thank you so much, Honorable Dora Siria. Very clear message. Seo vizungu tuvizibalini tufuma kwa kalingalinga. Seo va GDP tuvizibalini. Seo tuziba kuti pala penze maera pali Shoprite. Na ex-girlfriend wangu osebenza mwamene mula. Seo tuziba kuti paja penze maera pali Debonia. Nikakana 200 kwacha ati maenda na madamu tachita chipale na karomanzi. Ndiye GDP yasu. Seo 5 kwacha tuwe dola tuizibalini. Se tuziba kuti time ya 5 kwacha tuwe dola kwenzetia la UTH imo. Lomba mula alungu mulivipatala 4 specialized. Mula alungu seo tuziba 5 kwacha tuwe dola kwenzetia la ma public university ya 3. Lero mula alungu muli yali 7. Se tuona vintu vutili navo notiva mapepa yai. The next speaker, we call him as Jet Li. Va Francis, va Intercity, va Dario, oziba why we call him Jet Li. Tiger. And I know the song he likes before he comes. I'll start it for him. Uyaleti, lungu takateke, chimunyonge, 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 chimunyonge. Uyaleti, lungu takateke, chimunyonge, 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 chimunyonge. Please allow me to call on stage Honorable Stephen Kapolio Kampiongo, former Minister of Home Affairs.
Tumoneko Simbo, tumoneko Simbo, tumoneko Simbo, tumoneko Simbo. One Zambia! One Zambia! Na totele chine. Tawachamba bwino akalumbo kandi bishevo twamba filya. Weuleti lungu takawine iwe. Chikunyonge, chikunyonge, chikunyonge. Ozonda lungwa yonde. Ozonda lungwa yonde. One Zambia. Thank you so much. I want to start by congratulating my dear colleagues who have spoken before me, the two members of Central Committee, Honorable Doris Ria, Honorable Munduvile, and our colleague, the aspiring candidate for Kantanshi. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens who are listening to us either on radio, watching us on various television stations. First of all, we as Patriotic Front are always leaders. And these platforms that we are seeing today, this innovation that our campaign team has come up with, supported by His Excellency the President and the Secretary General, have not happened by accident. This was the visionary future that Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu embarked upon. 2016, he came to Parliament to launch what was called Smart Zambia. Smart Zambia, which entailed that we are going to have smart solutions. Today, we are able to communicate like this. We were able to do business in Parliament, legislating even in the midst of the COVID-19. Our national broadcaster is now digital. Why? Because that's what President Edgar Lungu wanted. And this is a milestone. So kudos to you, the campaign team that has come up with this innovation. Mukwai ala mufiro kushwokutila ubutunguru shivumo lesa eupela. Na fino fina fitunshi tule bomshale lo. Nicho wa Edgar Lungu bali kwete chimonwa. Tawa ishwokuta kukawaka kishishika COVID. Lelo tulipano tulela ndane chalo, tulela ndane abantu, panchani fyonse fitule bomfya. Mirimo yaba Edgar Lungu. It's a milestone. Abalandi balanda sana pampali ashiria buya intentional bunonshi. They've spoken about the economy, they've spoken about infrastructure development, they've also spoken about why we should trust one Edgar Chagwa Lungu to continue being our leader. And they've been spot on. Because out of all these that are contesting the presidency, like my dear colleague said, Honorable Syria, some of them are just escorting. But for me, some of them are supposed to be competing with us in constituencies. Because some of them cannot even win as MPs. Ababambiabe minine na ba president wa Edgar Chagwa Lungu tulingiro kulasha shala na bomma constituency. Bambiteti ba wina na bu MP. Nango na bu councillor. Now, why Dr. ACL? In Dr. ACL, we have a visionary leader, we have a unifier, peace promoter, we have a trustworthy leader who treats every Zambian equitably. He has taken development to each part of Zambia, all the corners of Zambia. I've seen
some portion of development. My dear colleague here is able to come here from Kantanshi peacefully. Why? Because he knows that the miners in this constituency are now hopeful. Vakateka Walungu nintungulushi iya sakamano kulete chalo pamo. Tabalo ishapa mtundu wa muntu. Balelo lisho mwina Zambia, ngo mwina Zambia, ukwa bulo kuipisha ekwa fuma. No buteko bwabo, chatutila cabinet was the representation of one Zambia, one nation. He had our mother, Madam Inonge Mutukwawina, as his vice president, and we thank our mother because she has worked for this nation since independence. Today she has said, I am tired, I need to go and rest. Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, consistent as he's been, he has replaced her with another gallant daughter of this nation, Professor Kandulo. Consistency. Even those who want to imitate him have ended up gongaring themselves. Because in trying to follow him, they've gongared themselves with the selections of their running mates. One Zambia, mukukongeresha balungu, pantu balungu bali bamuchishinka. Bali na bamawe Inonge, nomba basanda wa Professor Luo, ukwewa tiwabe ngen konkani yawo. Ebuntu, ukuwa muchishinka. Others are calling themselves an alliance of you. You know, you can't be in an alliance when you are in an alliance with yourself. How can you have an alliance? We are grateful that many of the opposition, well-meaning opposition leaders, have seen that they didn't need to waste time appearing on the ballot when they know that one Edgar Chagwa Lungu means well for this country. And so those who have come on board to support him, the Winter Kabimbas, Edith Nawakwi, the Sinkambas, Honorable Chimpaka Mbwiri, abandoning the fake alliance and coming back to the mighty patriotic front. Honorable GBM, abandoning the same forward reverse. So is Dr. Banda. They've seen who the leader is out of all this. And they've rallied behind President Edgar Lungu. We didn't need to sign any fake pacts. Why have they done that? Because they remember how President Edgar Lungu came into power. You all recall that between 2011 and 2016, we formed government from the opposition in 2011. Midway, we lost the founding father of the Patriotic Front. At the time we were losing the founding father of Patriotic Front, President Edgar Lungu was singled out of the many cabinet ministers who were present to remain acting as president. Now here I want you to follow me. We lost President Sata. Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu was not only acting president, but also commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And according to the old constitution, he was only going to hand over the instruments of power that he was temporarily holding to the elected sworn-in president. But you saw what happened. You saw what happened. Some people schemed to strip him of those instruments of power. On this continent of Africa, dear colleagues,
Shazzy boy. Running it. Stash on the beat. Nileta wasalire tori. Tapane kodimba chikakwe oso.
Having been myself in UTH and battling with the problem of HIV and AIDS, which also was devastating. And now I see that COVID is even worse in that it's taking people away very, very quickly. Some of you who are actually looking at these very patients are being infected and being taken away. And as a fellow professional, my heart bleeds. No health professional has been rewarded on earth. Most health professionals who have done such good work are only remembered and are rewarded in heaven. So let us work together, and I'm available anytime to support your work, and we will ensure that we work together until we bring this epidemic to the end, and God bless.
Kalamia Music Promotions.
Mwana afuiri abana omwoyo. Uli oshali mwina wa mwana alefu abaka ni pakati. Efira fya kitike. Kanshi muli ba Edgar Lungu na tukwata isubilo. Na bonse aba abalufyenye pali karakashita balisa bakunkumba as a unifier. And that's why you have seen today all our colleagues who had run away from PF are willingly coming back. Because they know that he is a leader who means well for everyone. And based on that, he deserves, because you see, when you are choosing a president, we are also choosing a commander-in-chief of the defense forces. He is the best out of the so many people that are vying for the public office. That's why in here, this manifesto, I was part of the team that came up with this manifesto on behalf of the Central Committee. We have promises to address the challenges, to reflect on the successes that we have achieved, but we are also alive that development is a continuous process. We are ntanshibwa chalo tabuchitika pa mukumo yo. We say, City of Rome was not built in one day. Umusumba wa Roma tawakulira obushiku bumo. Kanshina tukwate esubira okutila ifitubikiri omu. Pakutifika bebwino bwino tufire omutende wa chalo untu twakwata mundo chalo cha Zambia upitirire. Nti wapitirira shani tufire okumuno okutila bali abasopa omutende wa chalo. Public safety, police, immigration, correctional service are doing their job. We have capacitated them by acquiring equipment for them to do the work. Those of you who look back, you know how the police were not respected. And you expected them to preserve our lives and property. They were living like animals, if I may say, because the housing units they were living in left so much to be desired. This commander-in-chief, who was at Home Affairs as minister and also became defense minister, understands how important, what premium should be pressed on security of the state. Here with me are two sets of manifestos. This one from the one this is the one I've seen on the market apart from this one. In here, we have got a full chapter talking about defense and national security. Here, what is in here is Public Order Act. That's all there is in this document about national security. National security, like I've said, we have the public safety, which we're investing so much. And then we have the defense. Defense, where we have the Zambia Army. What have we done? We have made sure that we equip them, we establish new cantonments. You know how our people used to suffer on the water bodies of Luapula province and other areas. The president, who is commander-in-chief, had to establish a specialized unit called Marine to make sure that our people are safeguarded. We have established other cantonments for our men and women. They are equipped. They participate in foreign missions through peacekeeping. And they are the most rated in terms of discipline on the continent. Why? Because they were working under a responsible commander-in-chief who has been inclusive. He has looked after all his men and women same. Those who didn't have housing units are having housing units. Like I said, correctional service, immigration, and others. The defense are also having the same fair share. And we are making sure that as he comes back, we are going to renovate and refurbish all the other cantonments, Tagagan barracks on the Copper Belt, and others, so that our men and women can live like human beings. They can safeguard this nation. Zambia Air Force, whose mandate is to protect the airspace of this nation, didn't have equipment. Those men and women you see, well trained, their pride is how many hours they have to fly. They didn't have planes. This responsible commander-in-chief has made sure that he has equipped them with modern equipment. And it shocks me when I hear someone saying, when I come, I'll come and sell some of the military hardware. What kind of irresponsibility is that? If you're there and never maona batata, na nomba tuwarufishe bakateka ambire chalo chino wakaunda. Bali ishi okutulo bayambire okuteka chalo chino, ifero fimbita fyapokere obuntungwa. Echira bayambire okupanga ifi. Abashirikale abakusupa omutende wa chalo nokwafurisha ifero fimbyo okupoko obuntungwa. Nga mwale umfa balela ndapo abali abashirikale bakalamba bapita zuze bachinkuli na bambi. Basunga omutende wa chalo okupita mu bashirikale. Okufuma pali bakateka bakaunda ni ba Edgar Lungu abasakamene abashirikale nokumona okutila bachindame. Namanda bekalamo eba yambirire po kuwamya po opo twapokera obuntungwa n'okukula amayanda ayapya n'okubasitira ifisolobero fyakubonfya pakutaba engala bonfya bwino bantu mutende wa chalo emu abana obunonshi ni mutende wa chalo emu fyonse abanandi abachilalanda finga sashani finga bombeka umunanja afumine okumaini ili ashiria migodi imigodi alingo mulembwe wa chipuba upira muri tumfwe necho tulefwaya kubomba n'abantu abo tuchindikene nabo tulefwaya abana besu balengeresha nchito mu migodi abalefu mu maskuru yaratu abikire ku migodi nga ba university ba Copper Belt University nabambi abashasambirira efyo lesa tupele mukuba ulya wabapanshi no kukosha kwandalama ituletila kwacha alavane tefila wakubepa kuli kashima pepo kabufi akasangwa pa chitunshi eko twapepeke muno chalo kakwe batika bepi abantu we muntu we urefu okuteka na waisa mkubepo bufi kutanga mwanjingisha ukateka ichungulo ni shindalama yapo na wala chitamira ko ya musangonshi ukubwesha maka yako acha mungu mfuikishe ni mkumona okutila firafintu tuleshitisha okutwala kunse ya chalo ngakopa indalama twaishitisha shabwela muno chalo shabwela mutalo echo twakwatila ibanki likalamba Bank of Zambia. The whole idea, countrymen, is that where we are coming from, every time we exported copper, all the dollars that we sold copper for remained outside the country. And the only time you saw that money coming here was when they were about to pay salaries, when they were about to pay a bit of suppliers. And our people were crying every day, suppliers in poverty. Now we are saying, even if we were going to work with other people in terms of investors, yes, we shall welcome investors who are going to come with mutual respect. We want to make sure that the money comes here so that our kwacha then can be strengthened. And so we have not chased any investor. We have just parted company with investors who didn't mean well. Tatwatanfyapo abakuleta obunonshina ngubamo iyo. Lero twalela nshanya n'abayunoni bonse abamigodi kulya bachewe ne timu lyabo bakateka balungu bale bapero muchinshi bane twala kitashana. Efya bakateka asakamana abantu. So what you people of Zambia will be doing on the 12th of August is to vote for continuous development, is for you, our poor people in the villages, to vote for continuous social safety net programs that are alleviating poverty. Social cash transfer. We are going to even make sure that we modify the farming support programs. This is what is here. Bamana batatu okusala mukasala patwovu kutila fwe balanda fwe obuteko busakamene tupitilisha okufula kwendalama shabule isha kutola ku pantanshi fwe bashibwetu apa kumo kuboko na ife tukwateko okula kupatala okula tuma bana ku masukulu ubulimi batilwa insala nindi minwa tempulilo iyo turefo ubulimi tuleshitishe fintu mufyalo fimbi emo chashupo kulime fyakulya ngatukosha kwacha mwene bakateka balungu as commander-in-chief. He has even encouraged all his defense forces to go into production. Zambia National Service, which is another wing of defense, has now been encouraged to go into production. They've got the equipment. You have seen them establishing milling companies so that the staple food of mini meal can be affordable to our Zambian people. Echo vale chinafira wakateka kusa kama na bantu. Bazedenes takuli nkondo lelo twaliwa kansha bantu. You don't prepare for war during the time of war. You prepare for war during the time of peace. So lidani netule kansha abashirikale besu turefa babe na mu production bale ilima ifyakulya fyakulishe chalo ne fyakulya fyakutwala kunsi ya chalo atura leto bunonshi indalama ya kwacha ikakosa. These elections are very important, and I want to emphasize that we shall not tolerate, and I'm happy that the police are now being proactive. I'm happy that our Secretary General signed the peace pact so that we can have free and fair elections. We all must replicate because we know what our numbers are. And those who are doing opinion polls, for us we have got no problem. We will welcome them. Because when someone is telling you, when you are using a mirror and it shows you that your hair is not properly combed, you don't break the, for those who fix things, you don't fix the mirror, you fix yourself. For us, we are going top gear because we are explaining to the people. Today, as I speak, hospitals are everywhere. The roads are everywhere, even Kwa Haye, where people are running away to make a bridge, to make a road across the plains. People are crying, so where's Chingora Road? Yes, I know in Muchinga, my people are crying, Great North Road. Yes, we are coming. We have started between Nakonda and Isoka, between Isoka and Chinsali, because that's a very important road to the national economy. We are coming. As I speak today, our poor people are accessing good health care. People are saying we shall employ doctors because they have seen the hospitals that we have created. I didn't want to start moving my mother from Chinsali to come to Lusaka to access me. She's in hospital right now, in the new Chinsali General Hospital, where she's being taken care of. So, this is what we say, that is what we mean when we say proper government, is to make services that our poor people need to access, just as we provide for the house. One Zambia. So, electing President Edgar Lungu, for you, the Zambian people, you are electing continuous development. You are electing peace. You are electing unity. It doesn't call violence any other name. But there are people who can be the motorcades and their followers become criminals, damage property, and they go mute. The president has had his own members incarcerated because he doesn't tolerate violence. So we in the PF are going to say to our people the message, because the development is there for you to see. There is no country which doesn't have challenges. All the countries as I speak have got different challenges. But here we are determined, and under the leadership of one President Edgar Lungu, supported by Professor Nkanduluo, and all of us, we are going to find solutions. We are not going to fix things. We are going to provide solutions to the challenges that we are currently facing. Ifwe tulebomba ngetimu, balungu basumina mukubomba netimu. Kanshi mwewe na chalo, mwewe kala chalo va Zambia, bamana batata. Please, don't waste your vote. Your vote will be very important in order for you to take this country to the higher level. Ozonda lungwa yonde. Ozonda lungwa yonde. One Zambia, one Zambia. Please don't forget the masks on 12th August as you go to cast a vote, because we don't want you to be denied the chance to vote. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause for Honorable Stephen Kampyongo. A big round of applause to all the speakers. Honorable Doris Leah, Honorable Stephen Kampyongo, Honorable Brian Munduvile, and Honorable Anthony Mumba. Ladies and gentlemen, Romans chapter 13 verse 1, 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 13, and 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2 are very clear. Leadership comes from God. Ungasunge chunsu, wasunga ngombe, ngati mulungu sanafakepo kwanja, uperera chape kutamba. State House isunga imyange, and mulungu aziva what Zambia needs. Zambia does not need bitterness, hatred, and tribalism. Therefore, anyone who harbors this will never see the inside of State House. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that we've been here for a very long time. Thank you so much, all those who have been watching us on radio, on television, on Facebook. Please, as we conclude, a big round of applause for Dambisa, Rough Kid, Kekero to perform Twaba Bonse. DJ. Twaba Bonse na balungu, Twaba Bonse. Twaba Bonse na balungu, Twaba Bonse. Yes, sir. Twaba Bonse. Twaba Bonse na balungu. Bravo!
Sala imwena uno wapitala na kambi. Sala imwena
Vazambia,
Vazambia wakana,
Vazambia,
Vazambia wakana, takulepa yo muntu na umbi. Sala imwena uno wapitala na kambi. Sala imwena babonse na balungu, babonse, babonse na balungu, babonse, babonse, babonse na balungu. Yeah, mwila sakamana.